Tonight, we premiere a new series I'm very proud to be a part of that will run from tonight through Election Day. It's called All Over the Map. I'll be traveling around the country, giving you a ground's-eye view of the presidential election from the perspective of voters in the key places, in the swing states. What motivates them? Who's gaining or losing their trust, and why? In the next few months, I'm going to talk mostly to Republican voters about the former president. Is his nomination inevitable, despite his many legal and character controversies? Or is there sufficient demand for change and a new face for the party? We start our series in Iowa because that's where the race really begins. And the Republican presidential field is scheduled to descend en masse to the Iowa State Fair beginning tomorrow. A defining moment for those campaigns, just 5 months until the first in the nation vote. Business is booming.
This is a typical residential install.
Midwest Solar's workload now running at 15 to 20 installations a month.
We lost money the first year we were in business, and we're going to make money in our second year.
It's a small system, 10 panels.
Chris Mudd is the CEO and says, yes, give President Biden some credit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there are lots of grants available to business owners. The tax credit
At the production.
But Mudd is a lifelong Iowa Republican, would prefer that tax credit money be spent on a border wall, and hopes for a Donald Trump comeback.
Do I think that Donald Trump's perfect? No. I think I don't personally, I'm not a big fan of who he is and what he does and how he lives, but I think the decisions and the things that he did for our country were good.
The Mudd family is living both the American dream and the American divide. A business Jim Mudd Sr. started in his basement 42 years ago now employs 80 people, clients coast to coast.
I'm a lot older than you.
Dad and 3 sons are Republicans and Trump supporters. 2 daughters are Democrats.
They can still come to Thanksgiving dinner?
They still come. We still love them.
We visited as Trump was indicted a second time by the special counsel.
Why are they attacking him so hard? Why are they going after this guy so hard? Does everybody really believe that everything that happened was exactly the way that the government's laying it out today? I don't.
The friends and family around the table don't watch and don't trust CNN. There is reverence for Ronald Reagan here. But listen.
The trust is gone.
Reagan's optimism replaced by Trump's grievances.
We got to find our own way to take care of ourselves.
Reagan's disdain of big government replaced by Trump's distrust of just about everything.
I think he thinks he stole it from him.
Still questions about the 2020 election.
And I had a lot of people who agreed with him.
Criticism of the Trump prosecutions.
But nothing about that deal is the American way. I don't think.
And this.
If you think the United States should be supporting Ukraine in the fight against Putin, raise your hand. Nobody.
You don't have to be that smart to connect the dots, right? And so is the war to cover up sins committed so you can cover your tracks? There's too much money that's been thrown over there.
You think all the NATO countries would do what Biden told them to do because he's trying to cover up some Hunter Biden business deal by...
It all depends on how Zelensky, how much dirt he has on Biden to keep the money coming.
That's out there.
No, because it's right?
Hey, well, how do you trust when you know the government has shut down Facebook and shut down Twitter and told them to not show certain news stories?
A few days here makes clear Trump's grip is very strong, but roughly half of the party wants to move on, and they see their first in the nation vote as the best chance to derail him. The growth around Des Moines is stunning, and the suburbs are Trump's kryptonite.
I don't appreciate the negativity.
Jocelyn Taylor is a single mother who manages construction projects. Tim Scott intrigues her. Nikki Haley, too.
I'm a little concerned about it.
Sometimes Ron DeSantis.
There's just a lot of around him. Is that a technical term?
Betsy Sarcone, also a single mom, says DeSantis is her current favorite, but he hasn't closed the sale. She is done with Trump's GOP.
I see the party as a party of personal responsibility. And for this man to still be on the national stage representing the Republican Party is very troubling to me.
Sarcone and Taylor live a few miles apart, but don't know each other. Both voted for Trump twice after supporting someone else in the 2016 caucuses. Both want someone new this time. Both think, shop now, but in the end, rally friends around one Trump alternative.
I think the moderates need to band together.
That's kind of like a no-brainer, right?
Sioux City is 200 miles from the Des Moines suburbs. Trump is much stronger here. Did you caucus in 2016?
I did.
For who?
I caucused for Trump.
Why?
Well, he does have charisma. I mean, whether you like him or not, he does. I liked his policies.
Attorney Priscilla Forsyth is a Democrat turned Trump voter, but she thinks he should have honored the 2020 election results.
I think we need to get rid of Biden. I think we need to get rid of Trump. I think we need to move on.
Forsyth and friend Lisa McGaffey are Sioux City Explorers fans. McGaffey, though, not scouting a new candidate. You think Donald Trump is an honest and trustworthy person?
Yes. Yes.
This is warm-up season. 5 months until Iowa votes. 5 months until Republicans divided over Trump make a defining choice. First, my thanks to those good people you see in the piece there. A lot of them don't trust CNN. We're going to try to build a relationship. It's important to me over the next 5 months as we see how they vote. Now I want to use my old friend here for a little flashback. You heard about the talk. Trump supporters think the crowded field helps him. Trump critics think the crowded field helps him. This is a flashback. Remember 2016? Trump was second in Iowa to Ted Cruz. Then he went on to win New Hampshire, and the rest is literally history. But look at the map right here. Where was Donald Trump weakest in 2016? That's the key point you get from spending a week in Iowa. Look here around the Des Moines suburbs. Right? Look out here. That's Marco Rubio, Iowa City. That's 2016. That's 7 years ago. Let me be clear. Trump is stronger in Iowa now than he was when he placed second 7 years ago. But if you look at the changes in Iowa over these years, right? Keep that up there and let's bring this in here. Let's turn this off and let's bring in some changes here. Look at this population growth in Iowa. Number one, the overall state population change. The deeper the colors, that means the population is rising. Let me zoom in right here on the highest population change. Let's bring this back out and take a look at this. The highest population change is where? Des Moines in the suburbs, out here in Iowa City. That's where the population is growing. New voters, 60,000 new people just in Metro Des Moines. They're not all voters, they're not all Republicans, but out of those 60,000, a lot of them are. That makes it available. Consider that. Look at the growth of the population here, then go back in time to 2016. Where Trump was weakest is the population growth. You'd have to say today, talking to Republicans on the ground, voters, strategists, smart people who understand this state, right now, Trump is a prohibitive favorite. If you're going to stop him, you need to do it early. The best hope would be Iowa because Trump is very, very popular in New Hampshire, and then it goes on and on. So how would you rank this today, especially after spending a week with those Iowa Republicans last week? It is improbable today, if it were today, that anyone could stop Trump, especially when, like 7 years ago, you have so many candidates. But there's a debate in a couple weeks. A lot of candidates expected perhaps to drop out by the time we get to Iowa. So improbable you could beat him, especially if it were today. But is it impossible? No. It's a narrow path, but the math is right here in the Des Moines suburbs and beyond, which is why I'm honored, privileged actually, to spend the next 5 months on the road going back to those great people, asking them, still there, changing your mind, and tracking it as we go. We'll start in Iowa, then we'll move on later after we get a Republican nominee to the general election. We're going to do this over the next 15, 16 months, see the country, have some fun, hopefully learn a lot.